There is a saying that dogs are a man's best friend, but the few people alive that have lived the full extent of this truth will be gone soon. These people are the Inuits. They live in the Arctic and subarctic regions of North America. Modern North Americans understand the continent to be our own, but it was theirs first. We took it from them. The Inuit peoples were semi-nomadic. They were hunters and gatherers, and their dog teams were integral to their lives. In the winter, sled dog teams were used to pull the Inuit sleds over the snow and ice. The dogs would help them with the seal hunt, and in the summers, they would become pack animals and carry materials and goods from place to place. The Inuits would never have survived the unforgiving lands on the northernmost regions of our continent without their dogs, but with them, they lived in harmony with the land for thousands of years. This was until the 1960s. The Inuit people had already been forced into designated settlements by the Canadian government at this point, but what happened next was unforgivable. The Royal Canadian Mounted Police, under orders from the Canadian government, went into these settlements and murdered the Inuits' dogs with guns, of which the Inuits had none. It is unknown how many dogs were killed, but it is estimated that there were more than 10,000, and it could have been as many as 20,000. Because of this horrifying story, the breed is facing extinction. In 2008, it was estimated that only 300 purebred dogs remain. My whole life I knew nothing about this systematic slaughter of dogs and effective murdering of the Inuit culture that occurred at the hands of the Canadian government, and I guess ignorance was bliss. But this past summer I spent 3 nights in Umiujaq, an Inuit settlement in Nunavik. It was here that I learned about what happened from someone who has lived through more nightmares than any human ever should. He told the story of how he used to help his father raise and tend to his dogs, but one year when he returned from residential school, around the age of 11, all of the dogs were dead, and his family and father were given no explanation as to why. 40 years later, in 2005, the RCMP conducted an investigation into the killings and concluded that dogs were indeed killed, but for public health purposes, to remove sick, dangerous, and suffering animals. In reality, this was not the case. Elders believe that this was done in order to eradicate the livelihood of the Inuit people. But whatever the reason, the fact remains, the dogs were slaughtered and their owners were given no explanation as to why. Once the current elder generation of Inuit passes, there will be nobody left that remembers what it used to be like. It is time to accept our country's past mistakes and get a dog back into every Inuit household.